Well, hey, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to do a live tonight, just sitting down at home. The weather outside is just really windy. I mean, we're hitting winds about 30 miles an hour where I'm at right now. The lake is extremely low. Um, it's still about 1 unit or so, if that. Lately, they've been keeping it down really low. The rumor had it at one point that they were trying to actually keep the river flies at bay. Not seeing much of that now in the wintertime. It kind of makes me wonder if there's other issues that they're dealing with out there in the river per se, of why they're constantly keeping it so low during the wintertime. I know in past practices, the Colorado River has been low due to the fact that they were trying to regulate issues such as the fly, or maybe even clean up the area of the river that may have had a lot of growth or underbrush under there, or just to the fact of trying to litigate and get rid of some of the potential areas that are problematic in the river. But overall, though, this winter, I can honestly tell you, it has been real difficult trying to fish that river. Summertime wasn't so bad. If it wasn't dealing with the heat element out there, for the most part, fishing was phenomenal during that time of the year. I've caught plenty of fish out of the Colorado River. Again, the premise though is that during the wintertime, they made it extremely hard. But let's keep in mind that striper fishing has been awesome on the Colorado River, even as during the November months that we have been fishing in the river area there, people have been catching anywhere from 10 to 12 to 15 pound striper out of the Colorado River. Some of the things that I've noticed out there was that some of the types of baits that were being used, if not necessarily bait fishing, like which I do majority of the time, but they're using such as the lures like a 10-inch Huddleston. That was the number one bait that was used majority of the time when they were catching these big stripers, whether they were bone colored, trout colored, whether they're rubbers, whatever the case may be, they were catching striper out there. And one thing that I've noticed out in the area that I live in by the Colorado River, I believe it is either once or twice a month, they actually do stock the river location with over 1,000 pounds of trout, whether it's monthly or biweekly as they were doing it, but they were catching them. And they were definitely stocking the river area out there. So again, with that being said, it's kind of harsh, but the reality is that it is possible. I would be out there tonight, but the unfortunate thing, like I said, that the weather. Hey, Solo, how are you? Glad to have you on board tonight, my friend. We are just basically doing an open form discussion about all things fishing and fishing related. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know what I can bring to the table, and I will actually learn from each and every one of you guys that are on the channel tonight. So I appreciate you joining. As indicated earlier, the winds are really just blowing down here. We're looking at 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts in the area that I am at right now, and it's just crazy insane right now. It's not even worth taking any kind of watercraft out on the river right now, or even casting a line, because the line's just going to go anywhere but the right way. So Cal, how are you, buddy? Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. We're just having like an open forum tonight. Winds out here are bad. It's cold finally. We're getting that cold weather. We're getting a lot of the northerly winds that are coming in. But I was saying earlier that, the fishing out in the Colorado River has been decent, but for the most part, in the last maybe 2 to 3 weeks or so, it's been real difficult. It has been real difficult. Yakin, how are you? Glad to have you on board tonight. Um, so with that being said, I think the last time I actually caught out of the river was almost a 10-pound carp, which was, I believe, a couple of days or so before Christmas. But overall, though, I think it's been consensus wise, it's been statewide, nationwide. Things are just becoming to slow down unless you're into ice fishing. Let's see. SoCal says, wind is crazy here also. I only lasted 3 hours in the deer stand today. Yeah, wow. Okay, so Cal, if you're out there and you're only out there in 3 hours in a deer stand, the winds are bad out there even. It's that time of the year, guys. It's that time of the year where we're getting that wind in. I always tell people reality is this. We have 2 times a year that we get wind, summer and winter. It just seems like it's constantly blowing out in the area where I'm living at. Folks, wherever you're watching from, do me a favor. Tell me what the weather's like at where you're at and how the fishing's been where you're at. I know in my area it's been slow. SoCal, probably in your area it's been slow. Solo, in your area, has it been slow also? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always intrigued and curious to find out what the projectional fishing report is in the area that you guys are at. And another thing, what are you fishing for? Out here, I'm doing primarily cat, carp, striper, bass. Those are about the four of the biggest ones that we do out here for sure. Hey, SoCal, just so you know, I did order my power packs today from Amazon. They should be coming in probably January 3rd, I believe. Let's see here. SoCal says, not even worth fishing here in the past few weeks. I kind of agree with that. It's been real rough even on my end, SoCal. Solo says, we are expecting a mini blizzard in the area tomorrow. Oh, no kidding. So you're going to be getting some snow in your location. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I agree, Solo. The bite has completely shut down. The power packs, did you get? I ordered the DeWalt ones, the eight amp hour ones, the same one that Rod had ordered. So Santa Ana wins for everyone. Hey, Yak, cannot disagree. We're all getting the Santa Anas, one with fashion or another, right? It's the weather. It's messing all the fishing up. Mart, it is indeed. It is definitely, I truly believe that the wind has a lot of variance on that, and it causes fish to not bite. It causes them to go lower in the water potentially and just to kind of hide out and stay out. Um, Emerald, thanks for joining. Appreciate that. Well, I appreciate that, SoCal. Appreciate that. So again, I really truly believe it's been rough all over the place. Um, I do watch a lot of YouTube creators that are actually putting stuff out, and yeah, it's getting difficult. I mean, it's just one of those issues where I guess we just have to go through that time period where we're doing. I see. Memory says I tried deep lures, still no bites. Yeah, so I think it's tough all over. I really I got to be honest with you folks. I really initially thought that, hey, Derek, what's up, buddy? I really thought initially was I doing something wrong and how I was presenting my bait or presenting the lure, but the reality is no, it's not that. I truly believe that it's just been rough all over, when it comes to fishing. Um, it's just that I guess the best way to say it would be we're in that slow period. Fishing is good if you're in the states where you can do ice fishing or you adapted to extremely cold weather type fishing, But in our area right here, right now, no. The striper bite it's minimum. It is definitely minimum if you can get them. Not even the cat are moving at this point in the juncture. So yeah, Emerald, do me a favor, my friend. Please be respectful, okay? Please be respectful. So again, minimum the fishing has been almost to a standstill. A little bit of update on the boat. I was going to take the boat out to the lake today to actually put it in the water and to try and fire it up. Wanted to get a little bit more torque on that prop to see how it would go. Um, the winds are so bad right now that I declined to do so. So we're going to push for probably tomorrow, even another day, to get it out on the water. But if I had to say, I am probably about 85%, 90% done that it's ready to go. So hopefully in the next week or two, it'll be up and running permanently and getting ready to go. All right, I appreciate that, Emerald. Because again, keep in mind, Emerald, and folks that are on here tonight, we do have young children that are watching the channel, and I don't want to discourage them if they're really interested in wanting to know about fishing and getting into the fishing lifestyle. This channel is based upon etiquette, friendliness, and being very respectful to one another. And I appreciate that if you could abide by those rules. Anthony, how are you? Good to have you on board, my friend. Tonight's just an open discussion about fishing and anything fishing related or whatever the case may be. Um, and it's great always hanging out with you folks here on YouTube. So feel free to chime in, ask questions, whatever you may want, as long as they're decent, respectful. Ask any questions you like, and I'll do my best to answer them. If I don't know, I'm sure we have plenty of people here on the channel that would be more than willing to help out with the answers. 20 degrees here in Virginia. Woo! Oh my gosh, Anthony, you guys getting snow yet? Are you getting any of that white powder coming down from the sky, as they say? Oh, a bunch of power bait. Hang on a second here. What did you pre-rigged for Christmas? I'm looking forward to trying them out. Oh, awesome. Good job, Memory. Oh, yeah. You know what? If you're going to be doing power bait for trout, that might be an exceptional way of doing it. Awesome. Congratulations on that, man. I'm from the UK, and it's and it has been dead here last late. Oh, okay. So even out in that part of the area of the world, the fishing's been slow, huh? Wow. You see here, SoCal is talking to Anthony. SoCal says, found it on the private landowner refuses us access to recover it. Oh, what did you find on private land, SoCal? I must have missed that one. Hey, Invisible River, how are you? Yes, it's colder out tonight. Indeed, it is. It's very cold out here. We are probably going to be hitting in, and for some of you, for that, it may be warmer. I was saying, well, 50 degrees isn't that cold, but in our area, it's probably definitely cold for where we're at. See, so Cal, sorry to hear that, my friend. So Cal, what happened, buddy? I must have missed the chat. Not yet. Hopefully the snow. Oh, okay, I got you, Anthony. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind snow as long as it doesn't stay around for too long of a period. Lee Haley, how are you? Chesapeake Bay, Maryland. Welcome on back, my friend. Good to have you here. Home of the striped bass. Okay, well, I'll make that Arizona will be the same thing because we get some decent sized striped bass out here where I'm at, my friend. A little place that we call Willow Beach can pull out like 45 pounders. Yes, see, Anthony, was it a buck or a doe? Oh, SoCal, you actually saw a game. Nice. See, Mart says that's fishing with baits, flies, lures, anything, and nothing is happening. Yeah, folks, I guarantee you, it's just been a real rough winter at some point right now. Nobody's getting hits. Nobody. Not to the degree that we would like to. Let's see, Yakin says Chesapeake Bay is home of the blue crabs also. Oh, nice. That's right. You guys do have crab out there. That's correct. Wow. Let's see, Anthony says, smash that like button. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, folks. Folks, if you're new to my channel tonight, hey, do me a favor. Welcome, first of all. Appreciate you joining. Tonight's open forum, anything and all things talking about fishing related, boat related, whatever the case may be. And if I don't know the answer, I'm sure there's plenty of us on here that will. But again, like I said, thanks for joining. Do me a favor, if you've not subscribed yet, become a member of the channel here and subscribe to the channel. Love to have you on board. When you're doing the notification, do me a favor, hit that notification bell, but make sure that you do it to all. YouTube doesn't push it all the way to all for you. You have to manually do it. So, see, SoCal, you saw a 3x3 buck. Nice. In livid with the landowner for not to go, wow. So they wouldn't let you on the property to get it, SoCal, right? Man, that's so sad. That's so sad to see that. It's so sad to see that not everybody's on board with the hunting or fishing lifestyle that we have. Because I mean, in my honest opinion, it's a God-given right that we have the ability of doing that. Whether it's fishing or hunting, that's our right to do so. Within respect that we follow the laws and the rules. And if private owners don't want to, I guess they have a right not to because it is their property. But over the most part, I just wish a lot of private owners would be more acceptive and receptive to it. So SoCal, I totally get it, my friend. Been there many times in Julian when I wanted to hunt turkey, and I've seen them everywhere, but couldn't even get on the property to even get it. So the turkeys were smart. They knew better. They knew, yeah, we're not coming out in any private land. No way. So anyway, but that's where we're looking at. So the boat is running. For the most part, it's not running bad at all. I just want to get it in the water and see how it goes. Folks, anybody do any fishing today? I know we're talking about how slow it's been, but did anybody get any fishing? I truly believe more people should learn to fish and hunt. Oh, I agree. You know what? Memory, I totally 100% agree with that. One, it actually helps keep the herd down. Let's see here. SoCal says, absolutely, anti-hunter landowner, but when the deer runs to your property after being shot, at least allow, yeah, 100% on that, SoCal. I totally agree with that. I mean, if the person's not a hunter, what's he going to do with it? At least give us the courtesy of allowing us to go on the property to retrieve our game. It's otherwise it's a waste. There's, what, just my opinion on it. I never want to disrespect anybody's rights or property, and I get that, and we shouldn't. But if an animal is taken by our hands, whether it's bow or firearm, and it goes into private property, there should be a rule that says that the owner should allow you to at least get your game. That's just my opinion. No objections to that, I'm sure, right? Unless you're an anti-hunter. But I mean, overall, there should be no objections to that. Let's see. I fished and went hunting from the age of 6 with my grandpa. See, now you did it right, Mart. You started out young, you started out early, and you understand the whole concept of what it is about fishing and hunting. And I wish that more people would do that, because I think it gives you a sense of liberty, a sense of freedom, and a sense of knowing where your food has come from and how it's prepped, and everything, all the above. So good deal. So So, folks, again, like I said, it's open forum. So, as long as the questions are respectful, feel free to ask. Let's see here. Lee Haley says yellow perch fishing, the lower Susquehanna River, Maryland, some measuring 13 inches long. Wow, yellow perch? Okay. Hey, I've never fished that. Are they fun to fish for? Lee, I've never fished them. Are they really fun to fish for? And how do they taste? I've never had them. I know out in my area, we get a lot of what we know. Zero, how are you? Glad to have you on board tonight, my friend. See, SoCal says, I'm done hunting on the live. Dem dogs, absolutely zero support for the lives lately, so no reason to waste time and effort dragging Starlink out for no drag. So you're actually having problems with your Starlink, SoCal, out there being out in the field. I know that you were having an issue with it earlier, but I thought you were able to resolve that. I'm assuming the reason why you're having a problem with it is because of the fact is that you're not getting signal, correct? Now I'm going to end up mounting my Starlink system on the boat. Oh, no kidding. Awesome, Lee. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've never had yellow perch. I've always wondered how it tasted. Tony Hamilton, how are you? Thanks for joining the channel tonight, my friend. Glad to have you on board. We are home tonight because the weather is cold and windy outside where I'm at. Geez, it might as well be raining and snowing the way things are going. We're looking at 30 miles an hour here. Hi, Cora. How are you, sweetheart? I love you too, honey. Glad to see you on here, sweetie. My granddaughter just got on. She's watching. Hey, Phil. Phil says he's watching from Iowa where it's 9 degrees outside. Whoa, that is cold. Any snow out there, Phil? Or is it just rigid cold? Gosh, I can't remember the last time I was in weather temperature that cold, man. I think I lived in Pennsylvania the last time it was that cold. See, Yakin says, I thought about getting the portable Starlink for camping when I start my content. Yak, I think it'd be a great investment. I don't, I don't know what kind of problems SoCal might be having other than signal issues. But again, you see, no Starlink is working perfect. But the last live I had absolutely no support from the live. 270 views, so not worth packing the Starlink. Yeah, I understand that. And SoCal, hopefully, you know what? Hopefully it can work out. Maybe you should actually incorporate it into your boat when you're on the lake. That way you can get signal and do lives out there. What do you think? Hey, Phil, how you doing, my friend? About 1 inch? Oh, that's right. You did already get on. So you got about 1 inch of snow? Okay, I got you. Got you. Yeah, so SoCal, have you thought about maybe mounting it onto your boat? Taking the power pack out that way? And also, are you going to switch over your power pack from your solar to your batteries? I was curious about that because to me, the batteries might seem to be a little bit easier to handle around. I'm taking the advice of Rod and seeing how he did it. It looks like it's going to work out well. And as cheap as the batteries were, why not? You're getting 2 decent sized batteries for $130. I'm sorry, $230. Let's see. Marge says every kid should be taught to hunt and fish instead of watching TV and sitting. I kind of agree with that. I 100% agree with you. I agree, believe there's a time for TV, but I believe if young ones are out there hunting and fishing, they won't want to watch TV. That's just my personal opinion. See, Lee says here, we target yellow perch in the winter, best bite in January and February. Really? So your best time is coming up in the next month or two then. Awesome. Awesome. So let me ask you something, Lee. What are you catching these yellow perch on? What type of bait? You doing jigs, lures, or you doing bait? Just curious on that one. Yeah, so Cal, what do you think about putting your Starlink onto the boat? You think that might be an option for you? I have a battery pack that will run Starlink 14 hours, but it's heavy. Well, how about using the two DeWalt batteries like Rod does? Unless you plan on doing long duration lives. What do you think of that? Because I'm actually going to try the 2 packs and see how it works out. Now I need to find out whether he's running both at the same or is he just doing one at a time. Because if he's doing one at a time, it'll definitely extend out the runtime for sure. That or I might have to buy 2 more batteries as backups. So I'm curious, Lee, how are you catching these yellow perch? What type of bait system or rig system are you using for your line? You know what? I've been getting really heavy into, let's see here, double rig jigs on the bottom. Oh, no kidding. So you're not even using live bait or bait at all. You're just using jigs. Let's see here. SoCal says, I spent less money on the battery pack than it would cost me to buy DeWalt batteries in the charger. Really? Because I only paid like 270 for the batteries, SoCal. And the charger, charger wasn't that much either for me. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't conducive for you then, my friend. I don't know. Unless I'm looking at it the wrong way. I'm probably looking at trying to go as light as I can on the boat versus carrying a big box around. Not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that might be beneficial for me versus carrying a big charger around. Yeah, I'm starting to get into a lot more lures right now. Um, buddy of mine that I fish with out here on Saturdays every so often has been introducing me to a lot of different types of lures, whether they're top water, swim baits, or whatever the case may be. Hey, Jim, good evening, my friend. How are you? We're doing a sit down chat tonight in the house because it's too cold and windy out to do anything. So Lee says no bait, but some use minnows. Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. Fishing with JBT. Good evening, my friend. How are you? Welcome to the channel. We're having an open forum discussion tonight because the weather's too cold and windy where I live. By the way, great fishing, JBT. I caught your last couple of videos, man. Strong work, brother. Strong work in bringing those fish in, man. Awesome, awesome. Great content for sure. Oh, no problem, Jim. Thanks for joining tonight. Yeah, I'm kind of staying in the house where it's warm, so not getting out there tonight. Yeah, strong work, brother. Great video content. Folks, if you have not heard of Fishing with JBT, do me a favor, go check his channel out, man. He's amazing. He's got some really good content on there. I've been kind of watching his channel a lot because he's got some action pack going on. He might be the only one in the United States that's catching fish at this point. I'll tell you, he might be the only one catching them, JBT. Because it's been slow where we are. I hope everybody had a really good Christmas. Anybody get new fishing gear for Christmas? I ended up getting a new what do they call them? A bait runner. I ended up getting a new bait runner for one of my poles, so I'm pretty happy about that. In fact, a friend of mine was telling me that I should get one and to look into it, and I didn't realize that what he was talking about, I already had one. For those of you who don't know what a bait runner is or a bait runner reel, they're amazing. Let's see here. Solo says, Jarrell says, we're expecting a mini blizzard tomorrow. Yeah, hey, Solo, be careful out there, man. I know you guys are going to get in some harsh weather out there, so make sure you're careful during that time period. I guess I guess there's another name for the reel itself, but I believe it's called a bait runner. Hey, got a new spinning set up and a new nymph fly rod and a new fly tying. Wow, look at you, Mart. You're actually going to are you going to start tying your own flies and everything? Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's going to take a lot of patience. I can imagine it will. It's going to take a lot of patience, I'm sure. But you know what, though? The fact that you get to create your own flies and all that is going to make it so much more exciting when you actually catch those trout and stuff on them. Nice. So as I was saying earlier, that I end up getting a new one. I guess it's called a bait runner type spinning rod, and it's interesting because it's got a 2 drag system on it. It's got one on the front side of it and one on the back side, and you can either tighten or loosen the tension on the front or the back. But the unique thing about it is once you cast the line out there, you flip that switch forward, and if the fish decides that it wants to bite, because everybody knows that if fish are actually taking a hook, they feel any kind of tension or resistance, 9 times out of 10 they're going to spit that out. But with this new system that I got, I can set it for loose, and as the fish grabs it, it'll take off. I'll still be able to hear it as it's pulling drag, and that'll notify me to actually get it and go with it. So I'm pretty excited about doing that. Don't you dare let it come with me. Hey, I don't think JBT wants the weather. Yes, I've been doing it for the last few months, but me, it's part of fly fishing. Is learning everything about it, and the first time of making flies. Well, that should be fun. You know what, my friend? That should be fun. It's going to be exciting to see what you create and make. Let's see. Lee says, last year in my boat, my friend caught a new tidal state record for yellow perch, 16 and a quarter inch long. Wow. Wow, that's impressive. So it was a state record, hey, Lee? Nice. Hey, Jim, I think I shared with you before on that new the bait runner that you were telling me about that I should invest in that I didn't know I already had. I don't know if I shared with you, but it seemed like a majority of the people that are using them are from the country of Australia. That's what I'm finding out anyway. I could be wrong, but it seems like a majority of the videos that I'm seeing are going to be from Australia. Daniel Benedict, how are you? Thanks for joining tonight, my friend. Glad to have you on board. Me and JBT are pretty close to each other, about 2 hours apart. I'll try to stop it. Oh, wow. All right. JBT, you got it, man. You got to stop that if you can. Mad difference from over here. We hate catching perch. Haha. Really? Wow. Hey, I would figure a fish is a fish. Oh, JBT, you know what? I got it on Amazon. I'd have to go out and look at it. Actually, it's on my boat. It's actually a really nice one. It's like a metal red. Gosh, you know what? Next time we chat, I'll let you know what it is. But I paid about $65 for it. It's a nice one. It really is a nice, nice one. I got one designed for my heavy line, my heavy pole. I think it can max, I believe, about 30 pounds on it. So I'm pretty excited about it. So you used them for carp, huh? Wow. That's good to know that then, because that's exactly what you're going to use it for, either carp or catfish for it. Yu, how are you? How do I increase my pullout game, bro? I'm not sure if I understand the question. Casting Sharky? Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Please be respectful because my granddaughter does watch this channel, folks. There are a lot of people out here. If you're not going to be respectful, I will have no problem having you deleted. Oh, we're talking about if you're talking. Okay, so Cal, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not sure where that question was going. I don't think I want to know. Hey, John Anderson, how are you? Thanks for joining from Maryland tonight. You're watching live Arizona Outdoors in Arizona here, and we've got people from all over the United States. Virginia, Texas, Southern California, all the above, Maryland, everywhere. Glad to have you on board. Yeah, it's a shame that people have to troll like that, man. All we want to do is have a great conversation about things that we have like-mindedness about. Don't need to have issues with it, right? Let's keep it clean, everybody. I don't know, Mike. I think time is allotted to some degree. You got to take time to get out there and fish, my friend. Yes. Yeah, 100% agree on that one, Lee. I just recently went out and invested in a couple of hand warmers that can be recharged. No, Mark, but glad to have you on board. No, not yet, SoCal. Not yet. It's going to be one of those days where I've just got to have a day off that I can just sit and do it. I'm pretty busy with what I got going on between working and everything else and trying to get the boat up and running. I haven't really had time to sit and just mess with it, but I will, my friend. Hey, Drew, how are you? Glad to have you on board, my friend. Mud Cat Lotus, glad to have you on board tonight. Thank you. Thanks for joining. We're having open forum about fishing and all things fishing related. Thanks for joining, everybody. We can't be out fishing, so we might as well talk about it, right? I don't know where you guys are at, but it sounds like some of the people that I'm talking to tonight are having bad weather like we are. We may not be getting the rain and the snow, but we are definitely getting the cold and the high winds. Micah says, that's you. When I go out time, stand still. Nothing else matters. You know, yeah, I kind of agree with that. You're going to fish, get out there and enjoy it. That's all I say to that for sure. You only get one life, folks. Let's get out there and enjoy it. Only takes about 5 minutes. Well, then, okay. What I'll do is I'll reach out to you. And like I said, I know I've reached out to Rod email wise, but I know he's been super busy. So, oh, there goes Nightbot. Yakin, please do me a favor. Don't take it personal. I thought for sure I was able to curve it, but it's going to be doing what it's doing. I guess what it is it doesn't like more than 3 emojis. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. So if you put out more than 3 emojis, it may hit you. Ridiculous. That's what I say, ridiculous. Me too, Mart. I really do. No, it ain't all fixed, Yakin. Unfortunately not. It will be. I'll tell you what, the minute that it's fixed, you will be the first to know, folks. It just wind is currently 32 miles an hour and finally starting to drop, Jim says. Well, Jim, thank you for that. Is that coming from the airport, Jim? See, what the nice thing about it is I got a buddy on here named Jim that gives me up to date on wind conditions. I think he's picking it up from our local airport that's nearby. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jim. Much appreciated. Yep, so we are getting live information from the airport. Hey, Drew, cheer to you too, my friend. Cheer. All right, so Cal, I'll definitely reach out to you then. I'll definitely reach out to you because it gets annoying, and I don't want to. No disrespect, but I don't want to piss people off because it keeps hitting them. What days and times do you live watch couple? Okay, hang on a second. What days and times you live have watched a couple of them, but most of them, haha. Mart, you know what? I don't want to say it's hit and miss with me because I try to do at least 2 lives a week if I can. Sometimes 3. During when fishing is really good, I'm out there 3-4 times a week for sure. Times like now, if I'm in the middle of a project like working on the boat or something or doing something fishing related or even hunting related, I try to go live as much as I can. Maryland, we have mountain trout streams, many tidal rivers, open water of the Chesapeake Bay, and ocean fishing off the coast. So you got a really nice area out there to fish, Lee. That's amazing. You got saltwater, freshwater. You've got it all out there in your area. I think SoCal does too because he lives not too far from the ocean either. So he's got the saltwater and freshwater. My area, it's strictly freshwater, period. You got the Colorado River, you got the lakes out here that we do, and pretty much it. Do you like to catch Apache trout or the Gila trout in Arizona? Micah, I've actually never caught either one of those. I didn't know until recently that they were actually, I won't say endangered, but you weren't allowed to keep them due to the fact that they could potentially still be endangered on that list. But we do have Apache trout out in the area, and I believe that may be indicative to the area of Apache County, from what I'm understanding. So I've never caught one per se yet. Doesn't mean it's not on the bucket list. Definitely would be on the bucket list for sure. We have another one that's out in the Colorado River out here called the Razorback Chub. It's a interesting looking fish. I guess the best way to describe it would be a deformed porpoise. That'd probably be the best way to describe it. And I've never been to the Gila River, so I've never been there. Never been there or to the Salt River. Really, I didn't know that the Apache was. Yeah, and again, it's borderline saying Apache because I've heard, rumor and watching videos on YouTube and even talking with people about it that at one point they were endangered, that it was like highly illegal to even remove them from the waterways. If you caught them, take photos, release them back into the water. That was the consensus that they were doing. Because at one point they were actually becoming to the point that they were becoming non-existent. Now, I'm sure the numbers have come up since then, but I still don't know if it's legal to allow to take them out of the water per se. And that's not something I would even want to attempt. It's a great catch. Definitely a bucket list of mine to put it back in. It's like a beautiful carp. I mean, I love carp fishing. Would I eat it? No. Not a fan of it. But I would love the challenge of catching them and releasing them. And even with striper, when they get super, super large, like a 25, 35, 40 pounder, would I eat it? No. Just the thrill of catching it and releasing it would be my thing. I will keep striper fish that are 2.5 pounds all the way up to 6 pounds. Anything bigger than that? No, probably not. unless I'm feeding a bigger family per se, but probably no, not bigger than that. So, I mean, my logic is this: is if you go back and see some of my earlier videos, I've actually caught a lot of small size trout or striper, I should say, that I call dinks, and 1, 2, 2.5 pound maybe. I'll probably put them back because I want them to get bigger and grow bigger. That way we can catch them later. Gaming, how you doing? Good to have you on here, Gaming Goat. So, I mean, my thing is I'm more excited about the challenge of drilling them in, the fight of the fish. That's what I like. And I will tell you, there is a difference in fight when it comes to the striper versus the carp. I learned that straight off when I actually caught my very first carp because I was so used to catching striper. The day that I caught my very first carp, I knew something was different. I go, yeah, that's not striper, it's not cat. They fight differently. Yeah, Game and Goat, just so you know, um, if you're going to do more than 3 emojis, you're gonna get hit with Nightbot. So, and again, in all respects, I appreciate you asking, but I do not just mod anybody. You've got to be on the channel for a period of time because that way you got to get to know us, and we got to get to know you. I'm just not going to mod anybody. Native brook trout and only native to Brooklyn. Oh, really? Okay, Lee, I got you. I got you. Now, back in the day when I was a lot younger, I had the privilege of doing some deep sea fishing off the coast of Florida and out in the Atlantic Ocean. I got to tell you, I'm not. I would love to do it. It's just that the salt water and the waves don't agree with me. I get very, very sick. I've tried medication, tried to do the stuff that the anti-nausea meds. Nah, nothing worked for me. So not a good thing for me. Let's see here. SoCal says Apache trout are only in very, very small numbers of water bodies, and odds that you will never actually see or catch one except in travel lands. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. But again, I know that they are up in Apache County, Arizona, and I know they have them up there. So I won't say that it might be. I won't say it's going to be ever catch one, but the reality is your chances of catching them may be small to none to some degree. But hey, there's always a first time for everything, SoCal. You never know, right? You never know. But I mean, overall, though, I mean, I caught 2 sharks the very first time I ever did deep sea fishing, and yeah, I did it. That was the end of that because I knew I don't do well on salt water because of the waves. It just makes me severely nauseous. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Even though the fishing on the ocean is a lot funner, I think, because of all that you get and different varieties of fish. But for the most part, no, not for me. Mart says only trout over here is rainbow trout, brown trout. That's not a bad selection, though, Mart. That's not a bad selection. No brook trout, nothing like that, but still, you've got some decent sized trout over there. That's some nice fish right there. And trout's good eating. Some of the best trout that I ever had was when we caught it, cleaned it, and cooked it right then and there in the campsite. Oh, Jim just texted me and said, look up the Arizona Trout Challenge. Folks, I believe that's coming up. Jim, do we know the dates on that by chance? Folks, there's a trout challenge. I think that's the same one that we talked about, if memory serves me right. You may have sent that to me already. For those of us living here in Arizona, I believe it's in our state respectively, but there is a trout challenge that's coming up. No time limit. Really? Jim, what days are those? What days are those going to fall on? Do you know? So, folks, if you're ever in the Arizona area, man, let me know because you might be able to hook up on this trout challenge. Let's see here. Change. Okay. I'm sorry, Jim. You kind of lost me, buddy. Let's see here. Solo says fresh fish is always best. I agree 100%. 100%. They taste so much better. How we cook my trout when I cooked it was with butter, lemon, spices, depending on what you want. It's anytime. Okay, so that's right. We did talk about that. So, Jim, I don't want to get it wrong. So, just to kind of recap on it, Jim and I were talking the other day about this trout challenge that's out here. There is no time limit, and you have to catch. Gosh, how many different types of trout are there? There's quite a few, and there's no time limit on when you can catch it. And when you get it, then you have the ability of actually, hey, Grumpy, how are you? Oh, catch 8 trout. Okay, there we go. Grumpy, I just want to let you know, buddy, I do apologize. Nightbot is actually, if you do more than 3 emojis, it hits you. Ridiculous. So I will be working on that. I promise. I've got to get with somebody to help me figure this nonsense out. It's dumb. But again, it's not you personally, I promise. I just found out the other day that if you do more than 3 emojis, it flags it. It's ridiculous, right? Yeah, 3 emoji limit. Whatever, Nightbot. Whatever. So Jim was saying that there's 8 types of trout that you can catch. There is no time limit. You need to catch 6 of the 8 in order to qualify. And I think if you get 6 of the 8, then you get some type of certificate. It's actually pretty cool. And now, Jim, is this indicative to Arizona only? Folks, that'd be an awesome challenge if you're in the area out here. You got some time to spend out here in Arizona, that'd be a great way to get 6 of the 8 and get recognized by it. Okay. Okay, good deal. So that would be strictly in the Arizona area only, guys. So if you're ever out in the Arizona area, there is no time limit. You can have all year long if you want to do it. You have to get 6 of the 8 species of trout in order to get on the books. I think that'd be awesome. So if you guys are up for it, come on out to Arizona. Love to have you here. Catch them 6 species of the 8. Get recognized. I think they actually give you a certificate and all kinds of good stuff on it. So it's actually pretty cool. Me and Jim were talking about doing that. So, well, I guess, Jim, we just have to pick a day when we think it would be a good day to start it. And locality is going to be everything, right, Jim? Location of knowing when they're stocking and where. I know in the area that we live in out here by the river, there's 3 areas that they stock trout with. We've got the Colorado River, they've got Mojave, and a coin and hoodie. Oh, that's right. And you get the prize of once you catch those 6. Okay, so here's it. Let's recap it. There is a trout derby that you can do. You have to catch 6 species out of the 8 trout in order to be recognized. Okay, you get a certificate of your catches, which is phenomenal, and they give you a coin, like a metal coin. Oh, many of them are not stocked, Jim. Oh, so you're really good. They're going to make us work hard for it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just found out some of the trout aren't stocked, so we really have to work hard for it. But once you get those 6 of them, you get a coin stating it that the whatever the challenge is, and then they give you a hoodie with the actual name of it, the actual challenge on it. So I think that's a pretty good deal. Heck yeah. So Jim was just telling me not all of them are stocked. So yeah, there's going to be some work put into it. But again, I'm up for the challenge. So guys, if you're ever out in the Arizona area, man, hook me up. Let's go. Let's all get together and do a trout challenge and see if we can catch some of them. It'd be great. And there is no time limit on it. There's no from this date to this date. It's all year long. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So, what's been going on in everybody's life today? Any good fish stories? Any good fishes that got away? You don't know, man. Yeah, I definitely need to work on this Nightbot thing. It's irritating as ever. We'll get it dealt with, though. So right now, let's see here. I'm waiting on some packages to come in from UPS or FedEx or whoever from Amazon. I've got a charger for the actual Starlink, which is good. Got the Starlink already, and I'm waiting on 2 battery packs that I'm going to use to power it up. Going to mount it onto the boat. Let's see. For 2026, what is my game plan for the channel? Well, the game plan for this channel, Arizona Outdoors, is going to be, let's see, Jim just says here, and they're finding Apache trout off the res in the small creeks now. Oh, wow. Okay, so SoCal, the Apache trout are actually off the res now. You're finding them in smaller creeks out here. Perfect. Good to know that. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. So up and coming 2026, what's in store for Arizona Outdoors? A lot that I will tell you. I am looking at branching out to do different types of challenges, and I want to be able to do definitely do more lives. I want to do a catch, clean, and cook challenge, um, either a daytime or even an overnight camping trip on the lake itself, live if we can do it, and some other great stuff fishing wise. Let's see. Lee says here Maryland has a similar fishing challenge based on the length of the fish and species. Oh, no kidding. Okay, awesome. It's so cool to see that there's every state has its own types of fishing challenges and derbies and tournaments and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool to see that. It's really cool to see that. Gets more people out there and active into fishing, which I think is great. So, also with the channel coming up, I want to incorporate some stuff in off-roading, location-wise, scouting for next year's hunting season. Um, I've got property that I do go up to every so often. I've got a fifth wheel that's stationed up on my property. The area where my fifth wheel is on my property is up in an area called Seligman, Arizona. It is great for hunting up there, for deer hunting. There is bear up there. There's elk up there. There's javelina up there. If you go to the website, they have maps to show you where you can actually find them. Now, this is about the trout, right, Jim? So Jim was just telling me that if we go to the website, we can actually download the actual maps potentially of where you can catch these specific types of trouts. Not all of them, I'm sure, but a few of them. Okay, got you, Jim. Appreciate that. So again, we are going to be putting the effort into it, folks, for trying to locate these trout. Some of them are going to be easy, some will not be easy. But again, probably around spring or so, I'm going to be going back up to the property, going to be cleaning up some of that area, getting it prepped up for the wintertime of hunt season. I'm going to be putting in some sewage system, some irrigation system up there for water, and probably even some solar. I know I don't show a lot of my channel up. I don't show a lot of content of my property up there because it's still a work in progress. And I know a lot of times folks may not want to see that, but I try to keep my channel fluid with a lot of content. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to name it Arizona Outdoors. That way it wasn't specific just to one genre. But as you all know, my most favorite genre during the season will be fishing for sure. And when hunting season comes up next year, I will probably be doing a lot of that also on top of fishing. So it's going to be great. Well, Drew, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to get that going. It is going to be a process, but it's going to happen. I promise you, it's going to take off and it's going to happen. Um, I really want to keep the content engaging for you guys because I know that it's got to be entertaining. Otherwise, you wouldn't watch it. Because I know if I wasn't entertaining for me, I wouldn't watch it. It gets interesting in fishing in the States, especially when younger people. That's so true. You know what? And I really would love to see more younger people get involved in fishing. To me, fishing is a great way to get out and explore nature. It's a great way to have sense of purpose, and it's a great way to become one with what you're doing out there. To me, fishing and hunting is nature's video game, in my opinion. That one where you slipped over, there was a funny. Yeah, it was. You saw that video, Drew? I am so lucky I didn't break a bone. I'll tell you what, my old butt fell over that big old rock and slipped. Yeah, it was pretty classical. It was classical. Folks, if you didn't get a chance to see that video, you got to check it out. The last time I went fishing out there, I actually slipped over and almost landed on a rock. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I got to admit it. It was a slow motion fall. Indeed, it was. It was a slow motion fall. There are very few things in life that go slow motion, but that definitely did. I have to laugh about it because it is what it is. Let's see, the way he laughed. Yeah, Drew, you gotta laugh about it. My buddy, you've got to laugh about it because it's like, Did I die? No. Did I get hurt? No. I was good. I mean, even when I broke my femur about 6 years ago, I didn't. I was in pain, but I didn't scream about it. I pretty much knew I broke my femur. It is what it is. Yeah, I remember my wife and everybody says, "Do you want me to call the ambulance?" I'm like, no, just put me in the truck and drive me to the hospital. I'm not paying no ambulance bill. So, I think, and again, like I said, I don't normally admit this too much, but I think the reason why I didn't need to, what was that? I saw it, been to myself, right? Thank you, Lee. Hey, it's part of if you don't have something like that happen, then it is what it is. I think it makes great content. Not that I wish myself to get hurt or anybody to get hurt, but hey, if it's going to happen, at least have it on video, right? That way you could go back and go, yeah, I remember that. Drew says he watched it a few times. That's funny. Let's see. It says I just timed it. 37 seconds to fix Nightbot. All right, SoCal, we'll definitely get together on it then. So with that being said, SoCal, can I get it to give messages like please subscribe to the channel kind of a thing versus don't do more than 3 emojis, otherwise we're going to time you out. You know what I'm saying? For me, I've had to spill on my boat ramps. Yeah, they do get slick indeed, Solo. In fact, it was a boat ramp that I slicked on that I actually broke my femur. So me and that boat ramp, we got a history. And every time I get on that boat ramp, I remember what happened. All right, so Cal, then I'll definitely reach out to you, my man. I'll definitely reach out to you. So, but the thing what I've learned too also is that it's an interesting thing about fishing for me, especially on the water in a boat. I am learning to face some of my fears that I have. And, you know, when I broke my femur, that was definitely one of those issues. Would I ever go back and do it again? Well, I'm not going to let it stop me. I refuse to let that stop me from fishing. I love it. I love it way too much. And as I was sharing with you guys on the last video, if you didn't see in the last live that I did, I think one of the real reasons why I get real apprehensive about being on a boat in water is years ago when I was a little boy, I mean, a little boy, even almost just a little older than a baby, I actually drowned. I drowned. And I remember it. And I think sometimes that plays a lot of factor in that. That may be why I have a lot of hesitation on doing it. But I'm not going to let it stop me because I know there's more adventures out there to live and enjoy than to be afraid to do it. I'm just saying, that's just me. See, SoCal says, open the program on the left side menu, select moderation, disable all 6 options, and you're done. Now, I got to do that on the computer, right, SoCal? Because I'm actually talking on my phone right now. Here, hang on a minute. Let me screenshot that so I don't forget. SoCal's been trying to walk me through this whole Nightbot issue. I don't like it telling people nonsense it doesn't need to. I'd rather encourage you. Yeah, okay, so folks, give me just a second. I do apologize. I want to actually ask SoCal a question real quick. Yep, there it goes. Gaming good. I knew it was going to hit you. If you give more than 3 emojis, it hits you, which is ridiculous. It says open the program. Am I hitting Nightbot program or YouTube? Because I deleted the Nightbot out of YouTube directly, but apparently it's still going on. So I have a feeling it might be through Nightbot directly, right? Open the program. On the left side menu, select moderation, disable all 6 options, and you're done. Now, by me disabling all 6 options, okay, Nightbot, by me disabling all 6 options on that SoCal, does it allow me to get like the title like you guys get, like please subscribe to the channel, yada, yada, or do I have to type in key command codes? I'm not familiar with it. I'm not familiar with that whole Nightbot situation. Or does it completely disengage it completely? Folks, gotta love technology. Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's a pain in the backside. It really is. Especially learning things that you do to YouTube for it. Yeah. You definitely got that gaming goat Nightbot. Now I can see Nightbot being a really good thing to help with the channel to promote, but when it starts telling people they're going to time you out because of emojis, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Matt, we'll figure it out one way or the other. We'll figure it out one way or the other. So again, like I said earlier, hang on a second, folks. Those 6 options are just the moderator options. Disable them all and stop it from timing people out and warning about emoji. Okay, I got you. All right. I'll take care of that as soon as I get off the live here tonight, and we'll go through it. I may end up emailing you saying, "Hey, verbatim what needs to be done," but I'm sure I can figure it out. Hey, the worst case scenario is if I delete it, I can always reincorporate it. That's how I look at it. Not a big deal. It can't be. It's not going to get broke to where it can't be repaired. Lee, could be sometimes, my friend. It really could be. But as I was saying earlier, folks, I think like I said, one of the reasons why I think I have some apprehensions about it is being safe on the water is because of that reason. But I'm not going to let it stop me from doing it. I'm going to get out there. We're going to fish. We're going to find the locations on the water, and we're just going to fish. I'm going to be safe out there when I do it. Bottom line is, and folks, again, if I can tell you anything, don't be afraid to face your fears and challenges like that, because it's only going to make you better once you succeed and conquer them. Freedom is everything, I'm telling you, because when we limit ourselves, we don't have freedom. When we just let go and do it, that's when freedom comes around. Not to get deep or philosophical, that's just my analogy of it all. So, I'm a firm believer, don't be afraid to try new things when it's going to make your sport or your craft even better. That's just me. Folks, I appreciate you joining here tonight. Much appreciated. Yay! They just shipped out my DeWalt 2 battery pack system. Woohoo! I just got notified by it. Exactly, Lee. Exactly. If we ain't learning, then we ain't living. That's my logic. Right? Yes. They just sent it out, man. I'm excited. I might get it sooner than January, whatever they said. I might even get it before January, I hope. That'd be awesome to do that, get that thing fired up and see how Starlink really works. The benefits of having Starlink, in my opinion, other than the boat, is when I'm at the property, because I have no cell signal up there whatsoever. Oh, indeed it is, Drew. Indeed it is. Hey, I always tell my wife, we're still like big kids, even though we're older. We're still like just bigger kids, and our toys are more expensive. Bottom line, that's the truth. I mean, and if you have a wife that's really who's understanding like mine, then you've got a gold mine right there. Because my wife, she's such a sweetheart, and she really never rarely tells me no. I mean, there are times that she has said no, I don't think it's a good idea, or no, we can't afford it right now. But for the most part, no. If she sees potential in it, she'll always tell me, go for it, do what you got to do. That's what I love about her. She's actually not home right now. My wife is actually in California with her sister right now, taking care of some personal things out there for her family. So I've been keeping tabs on her, making sure she's okay. She should be home a little while. They made a long day of it though, man. They left early this morning. I think she finally left at home here at 5 a.m. and she's still not home. So, but yeah, I just not reached out to her not too long ago. So they're still doing okay. I'm the concerned husband, as I say. I probably blow up the phone about 3 or 4 times a day. Nope, there's not. No age limit for fun whatsoever. You got it, Lee. You got it. Yeah, with this last rain that we had, the forecast was saying major storms and all that were coming our way. I know California got hit pretty hard. SoCal, did you guys get hit pretty hard on that rainstorm that we had recently? Because I know we got rain, but it was nothing like what I've seen that you guys were getting. I think once it crossed the mountains over this area, nothing happened. I do. Solo, I do. I actually do. I use a garlic scent. I use a shad scent. And there's one other one by Tinks. I really don't know what the scent of it is, but it's a scent. But yes, I do. I use 3 types. Oh, you did get quite a bit of rain last week. Okay. Because I know watching some of the videos that you guys had out there in that area, you guys were just getting hammered big time with flood waters. Hopefully, it raised your lakes up quite a bit. It should make good fishing when it comes around again. Yeah, Solo, I do. I did get some scents on them. I'm not saying they don't work. Again, being cold weather right now, the fish being sluggish, I can't give it due fairness in saying it did or didn't work. The fish ain't moving, they're not biting. That's not the fault of the scent. I think that the fish are just kind of slow motion right now. They're just doing whatever they got to do. They're not burning as much energy and they're not eating as much because of the colder weather and colder water. So, I mean, even the catfish aren't even biting hardly. Every so often you'll get a couple, but not many. When I was out fishing on Saturday recently, the gentleman, just before I got there, the gentleman caught 2 stripers, but that was all he caught for the rest of the day. You see, Drew says the fence blew over here. Got to fix it after. Oh my gosh! So you guys got some high winds out there too, Drew, where it blew out your fence? I'm sorry about that, my friend. I built a fence in my backyard. I did a dog-eared wood fence, about 6 feet tall, because I like my privacy in the backyard. And I built it pretty good. I really did. I concreted that thing in the ground. It ain't moving. Not to say that it hasn't moved in the past on some people, but yeah, no, not mine. Let's see here. Lee says smelly jelly shad scent is good. Where do you find that at? I've never even heard of that. Drew says he's got a pool full of leaves. Oh, Drew, I hate that, especially during the wind season. I hate it. I've got an above ground pool, and it's a pain in the backside to have to constantly go out there, clean it, filter it, all the above. Yeah, normally it is. Drew, do you have a skimmer in yours? See, JBT says worms are power bait for trout. If you had to choose after 6 days of fishing worms, caught a rainbow and a little bit ago on power bait. Ah, power bait and worms do work well, JBT. Or I'm sorry, JMB. Power baits and worms do work very well on that one. By the way, JMB, if I hadn't seen you earlier, welcome to the channel, my friend. See, Drew says, yeah, we'll check the sun out there. Oh, you have to get your son out there cleaning it. I got you, Drew. That's one way to get it clean. Indeed. Indeed. Drew, do you have a skimmer on your pool? That's got to be an absolute must for mine, man. I've got to have a skimmer. Not only that, but I have to actually go out there and clean it by the netting. I would use one of those pool vacuums, but I think they're way overrated for the price they want for them. Not doing it. Little manual labor never hurt me, right? Now we need to get the skimmer. Yeah, you guys really need to get a skimmer, Drew. If you get a skimmer, that's really going to save you a lot of headache, especially during when the winds are blowing. Not high winds with lots of leaves, but just your basic routine winds. If you get debris in there, mealworms and tiny marshmallows. Hey, there you go. Jim just said the great thing for trout would be mealworms and tiny marshmallows. There we go. Peter Shorts, how are you? Thanks for joining us tonight, my friend. Glad to have you on board. Yeah, Drew, that skimmer it's a game changer, my friend. I've gotten one in every pool that I've ever had. They work amazing. They work really well. So during the hot season out here, when it can reach 118 plus, I'm literally putting a 3-inch by yay thick chlorine tab in my pool just about every 5 days, because the sun just beats the crap out of the pool. In order for me to keep it green free, as I say, I have to really keep it chlorinated, because the sun out here can be brutal. It can be very brutal. And if I don't catch it in time, I'll end up having a green forest in my pool. Then I got to drain it, clean it. It just gets to be a nightmare. Of course, out here in Arizona, we literally have to change for above ground pools. We may get 3 years out of them, and then we got to change them out. They don't last long at all. Not out here in Arizona, they don't. In ground, not a problem. Out here, above ground, yep. Every 3 years, we're changing them. Yeah, then you know what I'm talking about, Drew. You know what I'm talking about. Now, my jacuzzi, it's not so bad because I keep that under shade, under the carport area where I'm at, because I have a huge carport, and it is covered like a deck. I have like a top deck cover on it, over it, and it keeps it out of the sun pretty well. But I still keep that thing pretty chlorinated with one 1-inch tablet. I do it about one every 4 or 5 days, and I have it constantly running, especially in the wintertime, because I will tell you, there's nothing better than getting in a hot jacuzzi on a cold night when your bones are achy. It's just amazing. Amazing. It was a game changer. I had to make it a point. I knew at a certain age I had to get one because my old creaky bones just weren't playing that well in the cold weather. So if it gets too cold out there, oh, Jim, that's brutal, my friend. Jim says I have a skimmer. Her name is Julie. Oh, Jim. Hopefully Julie's not watching this live. I would like to see you again. Yeah, but I mean, to me, having a jacuzzi was a must. I mean, let's face it, as we get older, our bones hurt due to weather and cold conditions and just getting older. It hurts. So yeah, that was definitely a go-to needed toy. Oh, she loves doing it. Awesome. That's good to know that, Jim. So she doesn't mind skimming the pool. You got then that is one awesome young lady right there. Julie, you're amazing if you're watching. You're amazing if you're watching. I'll tell you what though. Um, One of the things that my wife and I we were talking about, and I don't know how hard it would be to get started or even what it would entail to get going, but my wife is very creative, and she has an artistic eye for things. And we were talking about buying molds to do plastics, and we've been watching a lot of YouTubes on how to do it, how to do plastic worms and lures and things like that. And that's something that we were entertaining the thought on doing that, creating on colors and designs. And I don't know. I think it'd be kind of awesome to do that. Let's see here. Drew says, "Is the boat motor all ready to go now?" We are almost there. Drew, we were going to take the boat out earlier today, but the winds were so bad here, so we're going to wait for a day that the wind's not so bad. We're literally getting 35-mile-an-hour winds plus. Yeah, I think so, Drew. I think it would be. Let's see. Lee says, "Do the striped bass in your area reproduce, spawn, or do they stock them?" You know, Lee, that is a good question. I would like to say they potentially spawn and reproduce. I don't know of them actually stocking. Doesn't mean that they don't, but I don't know. I've never heard of it actually out here. I know trout they stock quite a bit. They do spawn. Jim says they do spawn. And just as I thought, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. Hey, Drunken Chef, how are you? Welcome to the channel tonight, my friend. So yeah, Lee, that answers your question. I was almost positive they did spawn because I've never heard of anybody actually doing them. But yeah, so that would be a good one for that. Hey, Mike, how are you? Yes, it was blowing 30 to 45 in New Orleans today. I saw your videos, man. I'm telling you, man, we are getting winds everywhere in the United States today. Folks, Fishing with Ferg is on here. If you haven't checked his channel out, give him a shout out and check him out. He does a lot of fishing on the Lake Pontchartrain out there, and he catches some good stuff. He's having winds just like we were today for sure. Yeah, I think you're right, Solo. Indeed, they do spawn out here. Striper are invasive fish in Lake Mojave. Yeah, they are. Jim, that's correct. Jim says that the striper fish in our lakes out here are very evasive. So, yeah, if we have trout, they don't last long because the actual striper gobble them up big time. I always felt the best time to go striper fishing is a day before they actually stock because they're hungry. Probably specifically even more towards, I don't know, maybe spring, but even now potentially somewhat in winter. But again, with the water being they got in by accident, so they were introduced into the lake by accident somehow, right? That's what I'm going with. Let's see here. Mike from Fishing with Ferg says caught a few catfish on the Mississippi River today. All right, awesome. Okay, I got you, Jim. I got you. That's what I thought. How many did you end up catching, Mike? About 5? Well, at least we know somebody's catching fish, right? Lord knows it's kind of slow in the area I'm at. Yeah, I got a chance to catch your earlier one. There we go. Do they stock rainbow trout in the local ponds when it gets cold out by you? They still do stock. Well, if you're talking to me, Mike, they still do stock. Yes, because trout are cold water fish. Ambas, I would agree with that. Let's go fishing today. Unfortunately, the weather's not permitting it right now. We are having some high winds. Hopefully, the winds will not be as bad tomorrow. Oh, you caught 3. Awesome, Drew. Mike, awesome. Good job. Ambas, welcome to the channel, my friend. Your first time joining, welcome to Arizona Outdoors. Glad to have you on board. Tonight is open forum. We are talking about anything and all things fishing related or whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's clean in nature and not hurtful or offensive. Got some Gortons. Jim, what's a Gorton? Not sure what that is, buddy. What is a Gorton? Well, thank you, Drew. Appreciate that. On the YouTube side of things, I've been checking my hours. I don't know if I'm going to reach that 200 mark before January. I sure am trying, but I don't know if I'm going to make it, man. I don't know whether YouTube is slowing me down or what, but it's difficult. I was hoping to at least have the 200 and some done before January to hit that 3,000 hour watch mark, but I don't know if I'm going to hit it. It's sad because I was hoping for it, but I don't know whether YouTube's slowing me down or not. Hopefully they won't take too much away from me in January. It's going to make me play catch up. Folks, for all you guys that have been joining my channel since the very beginning and all that, and since then, thank you so much. Yeah, they are, Mike. They are super tough. I mean, I know people are watching me, but oh, fish sticks. Oh, you got some Gordons? Man, Jim, I haven't had Gordon fish sticks forever. Those things are amazing. Used to make fish stick sandwiches out of them. Yeah, they are making it really tough, Mike, and I don't know why. I mean, I would like to think that they want you to grow, but on the same token, like, why are you lagging my hours down? Exactly, Jim. Hey, make sure you got tartar sauce in there, buddy. I do. I have a playlist solo. It's there. I've been adding most of my videos and lives on there, so um, I don't know if I'm getting many hits on that either. But I do let people know that they're there. And like I said, I know not everybody's going to sit down and watch them. I get that, but if they could just let them play, that would be outstanding. And I don't mean to harp, guys. I really don't, because I think it's not respectful to continually harp about it. But on the same token, I sure would like to make that 3,000 hours. DNR stocks trout in Maryland reservoirs. This triggers the feeding frenzy with the stripers. Same here. Same here, Lee. Indeed. Thank you, Sol. I appreciate that so much. Folks, I don't mean to keep asking, but I do appreciate that. I'm so close. So close. If I could hit over 3,000 before January, that would go. How many to go? Jim, I don't know. I don't know how many hours I need left. I'd have to get out of the live to check it. And I'll have to let you know next time I look. Well, thank you, Drew. I appreciate that. I really do. Because, like I said, I think I'm like 244 hours or so, maybe 250 at the most. I mean, it's almost there. But I don't mind putting the work in either. I mean, if I need to continue to do what I got to do to make great content, I have no problem with that. I was just hoping to reach that 3,000 hours before January. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. I really do. Jim's been watching a couple too. I, for the most part, try to keep my content lively and entertaining. Um, Hopefully, it doesn't bore anybody. God, if it did, I wouldn't want that. I promise, I wouldn't want that. I always try to keep content that's going to be informative, fun, educational. Even if I'm learning it, something. One thing I've always shared, though, that I promised you guys when I started this channel way back when, I would keep it authentic and realistic as possible. I would not hide anything from you guys about what I do. Because the reality is that we're not professional fishermen. We don't have the high dollar toys, the high dollar gear. We're just average Joes catching fish, and we love doing it. And you get the good, the bad, the ugly, and even the oopses, as I say. So that's what it's all about. And I think that's what makes great content, is because people can relate to it when you're the average Joe. Like people like, and no disrespect for the professional anglers. They're amazing. They're good at their craft, no doubt. But that's just not who I am. You're going to get what it is. Appreciate you guys hanging on there for me, man. Appreciate that. Anybody got big plans for the new year? Any big plans for your channel in the new year? I'm curious. Because I know if you're like me, we're all sitting back thinking, what can we do different for 2026 that's going to wow everybody? Lee says, do you have hybrid stripe cross between striped bass and white bass? Um, that's a possibility, but I don't know. I don't want to tell you that because I'm not sure. There is a possibility we do have them. I've only been fishing this river area and lake area for probably, if I had to honestly be truthful with you, probably in the last 4 months is when I really started hitting hard on it. Because I went through a dry period of 5.5 years where I just quit fishing completely. So your question to that one is no, Lee. I've got a friend of mine that actually does a lot of research on the lakes and rivers out here with what's involved and what they do. So the answer to your stripe, hybrid stripe, is no. Jim, thank you for that information. I appreciate that. Like I said, I've only been fishing these areas maybe about 3.5, 4 months hardcore. So there's a lot that I do not know about the area that I'm fishing as far as what's in there other than what I've caught. I'm learning a lot about technique, method, line setup, jigs, lures, top water baits, swim baits. I'm learning all that stuff brand new for the first time. Heck, I'll be honest with you. I own a boat and I'm actually starting to learn more about that because I never took it out much. So I think something in the last 3.5, 4 months ago just triggered me and I went boom to where the light went on and it clicked and I started really getting heavy into it. I did a lot of fishing in the state that I used to live in way back in the day, but not to the degree that I'm doing now. I would probably fish maybe once every other month or so out there, maybe one time or so. But now I am literally out there 3 and 4 times a week if I can do it. Just fishing, learning as much as I can from fine folks like you on YouTube, watching a lot of YouTube content that people that I follow do, and even ones I've never heard of before. I'm following their channels and watching how they do it. Folks, I cannot tell you how much I'm learning from watching YouTube. See, Lee says broken stripes on the side of a hybrid striper and on smaller mouth. So that would be a hybrid, huh? So they look a little bit different than your standard striper. Interesting. I've never seen one out here, so I probably have to agree with Jim on that one. So again, like I said, I mean, I'm learning as I go with it. Let's see here. Got your playlist running on the computer now. Well, thank you, Drew. Appreciate it. Sure, brother. Sure. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Lately, I've been actually getting into a lot of the learning how to tie knots. Jim, my buddy, has been teaching me a lot on how to tie certain type of knots. There was one knot that I thought was called the Palomar knot that I soon found out, nope, it's not what you think it is. And it's actually probably the worst knot ever to use, which, hey, I'm glad he told me that. I was actually really surprised. I've never lost fish on that knot that I've used because I've caught some heavy ones on there, not super heavy, but heavy, and it never broke them. But Jim, I think you called it what, a clinch knot? I think that's what I was using, mistakenly for a Palomar. But Jim actually told me about another one called the modified clinch, I think it is, where it actually you add one more set to it, one more loop around, and then through the hole again. And oh my gosh, it was a game changer. It was a game changer. So again, a shout out to Jim for that. A modified clinch knot. It is a strong knot. Let's see here. Fishing with for Mike says Palomar knot is a serious knot. Great for heavy leader material. Really? Awesome. Palomar knot is a good knot. Okay, so I definitely need to learn that one too then. So right now I've learned how to do a clinch knot, a modified clinch, and gosh, what other one? Folks, there are so many. Oh, the snail knot. I want to learn how to do that. I didn't realize how many knots there were to learn. My gosh, it's mind blowing. Improved clinch. There you go. I call it modified. Yeah, anything's modified to me. And a uni knot. There we go. A uni. There you go. Jim, thanks for covering my butt on that one, buddy. Yeah, I did not realize how many knots there are when it comes to fishing. It's just incredible. A double uni. Woo! Is that like a double figure eight? I need to teach you a surgeon's knot. Ah, now that would be good. A Yucatan. See, Jim's just rolling all these knots at me. My gosh, there's so many of them. I bet you could probably count close to 50 of them, if not more. I didn't realize there was that many knots. Holy cow. That's incredible. A double improved clinch knot is also good. Yeah, I'm learning to use that one a lot more, Lee, believe it or not. Easy main line to leader knot. Oh, okay. I got you, Mike. I got you. Yeah, it's like I said though, and it's amazing how it works. Where you can take two different types of lines, whether it's braid, mono, or floral, and you can tie them together as one. And I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna play ignorant on this because I got to tell you, I never even knew this was a thing, guys. I did not know that you could actually tie two lines like that together and make it super strong without using a swivel. I never knew that. So again, I'm going to play ignorant on it because I never knew it. But I can man up and say I didn't know. But there's so many things I am learning about the as far as when it comes to oh yeah, I mean so many things that you learn about, braided line, monofilament, fluorocarbon, all kinds. What has memory, what doesn't, what's got good tensile strength, what doesn't. I mean, I'm even learning to understand now what's written on the pole, what it really means with light action, medium action. I mean, there's just so much to learn, so much to learn. But you know what, though? The good thing about it is the longer I do it, the more I'm going to learn it, the more I become more comfortable with it. Let's see here. Adam says, what do you prefer, braided line or mono? Adam, that's a very good question. I, for many years, had used braided. I was a big fan of the braided spider wire. Nothing could beat it. Best stuff in the world. And that's all I ever used for years when I used to fish out in the other state that I lived in. But I heard not recently, but I heard some time ago that braided is good, but it does have some disadvantages to it versus the mono. Now, mono, I don't believe has a whole lot of stretch to it, but I think mono may keep memory, and sometimes that can be a disadvantage too. But I started using mono between light to medium and medium to heavy on my lines, depending on what pole I was using that day. And also another one I got really heavy into was mono to fluorocarbon. So you'll do your mono on your spin bait and you'll do fluorocarbon on your leader. And the reason why I went fluorocarbon was because one, yeah, yeah, exactly. So I would imagine mono stretches like it does, it keeps memory then, right, Jim? But I was literally told that fluorocarbon was virtually invisible in the water. That's what I thought. Yeah, so mono does have memory, which sometimes can be a downfall from what I see. So I guess less memory can be a benefit to some degree on your line. Again, no, braid doesn't have memory. So okay, that would definitely be a win-win. So the question to that, which do I prefer? So if I had to do non-memory, braid would be good with probably fluorocarbon if you could do that. Or if you don't mind memory somewhat, then using the mono. So I'm still kind of experimenting with types of lines that I'm using, but I was a huge fan of braid for a long time. Let's see here. Sola says, I still preferred swivel just because less twist on the main line with knots. Okay, yeah, no, I can see that. No, I can totally see that. Because at the swivel, you have on both ends, it begins to turn and it doesn't cause issues. A double uni knot to attach to a braid to mono. Yeah, yeah, I could see that too, Lee. Indeed. I could definitely see that. So, now as far as price, you can spend a lot of money. Jim says, I like a Copalimer. Copalimer? I've never even heard of that. What is that, Jim? Anybody ever heard the term Copalimer? I've never even heard of it. As far as price online, budget wise, I would at one point, if I really felt that the line, again, being new to a lot of the line that I use, learning more and more about it as I use it. Let's see, SoCal says, I prefer all bright knot for braid to leader. Okay, there's another knot I never heard of. What's an all bright knot? I never heard that one. Adam says, braided line is bad for me because I fish the jetties a lot and get snagged on the rocks all the time. Okay, yeah, I can see where that could potentially be a hindrance. Now, is it your line that does that, or is it what's at the end of that line, Adam? That's what I'm curious about. Are you jig fishing, lure fishing, or is it like bait fishing? Because I don't know if the line itself would get caught. Then again, I could be wrong. I don't want to say you're not. I don't want to tell you what you're not experiencing is legit, not legit. Because you're right, you could be getting caught in between the rocks, which causes your line to get stuck. Albright is great too. I use it when I tie heavy leaders to a braid. Now I've got to look that knot up. I've got to see what that's all about. Albright. Curious now. So again, like I said, I was spending at one point where I would spend up to 20 some dollars on a spool of line, thinking it was the best. Um, yeah, it may be good, but can you still get the same effect on a discounted product and still get the same benefits on a line versus the high dollar? Braid is bad in rocks. Okay, so Jim just says braid is bad in rocks. So that would Adam. Yeah, I guess you do have a point there, my friend. Let's see here. SoCal says Albright is a very strong and easy to tie. It's quick and it's a very small knot once tied. Geez, I got to go check out all these. Oh, Drew, I'm sorry. The reason why you can't see Jim's messages is because he's actually texting me via phone. He watches my lives, but he texts me by phone. So I'm getting them on my phone messages. That's why I'm reading them to you. That way you can hear. And see, Adam says, my jig gets caught on the rocks, then the braid won't break. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I've experienced that one too myself, Adam. And you're right. It is frustrating. It is so frustrating. Jim, Drew says, sure, buddy. In other words, awesome. You got that, Jim? Awesome, Jim. Yeah, so Adam, I can totally relate to that. I cannot tell you how many times that I've gotten my lure or something stuck on a underbrush, and Jim says he's got it, Drew. Where I've gotten caught underneath the water on underbrush, and I'll tell you, I did everything but cut the line just to break free. It is one strong line, one strong line. How is my battery low when I'm charging? That's insane. Should not be giving me a low charge on that one. Ridiculousness. Folks, hang on a minute. I may have to go get my portable power pack. I'll be right back. All right. Give me just a second to step away. Colored braid yellow is good for me. I'm a lion watcher. No, it's all good, Lee. It's all good. Whatever works for you, my friend. Let me go get my charger real quick. I'll be right back, folks. Ugh. All these old bones hurt. I, for doing the life of me, don't understand how I'm getting low power on this one. Hang on a second here. All right. Says it's charging now. What gives? I thought maybe this would have worked better. Anyway, let's see here. SoCal says, I prefer old fashioned moss green braid. Yeah, you're old school, SoCal. You are definitely old school, man. Nothing wrong with that either, because that's all I ever used. That's all I ever used, believe it or not. Let's see here. It says, you need some WD-40 for those joints. So you are absolutely right. That is some joint juice. No pun intended, but joint juice. I'll tell you, man. That. Like I said earlier, man. That's one of the reasons why I got that jacuzzi, because my bones hurt. I feel like the Tin Man who never got oiled. The interesting thing is, like, you know what? I have no problem getting down on the ground. It's just a nightmare trying to get back up, and it hurts. It really does hurt. It's funny. My wife was telling me one day that I was doing a live. I guess she saw me outside doing a live, and she says, I don't want to say this because I don't want you to think bad. And I go, sweetheart, just say it. I'm not going to be offended by it. She says, well, when you don't wear a hat, there's a certain part of your head that looks like you're bald. I'm like, what? She goes, well, it's like a white spot, but it looks like you're bald. I go, sweetheart, it's called gray hair. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with growing gray. I don't care. Poor thing. I know she didn't want to tell me that, but like I said, nothing she tells me can offend me. The only time I don't like when she tells me things is when I know she's angry. Because then at that point, I'm probably in trouble. But like I said, any good marriage, if you're not in trouble at least a couple of times in your life, then I don't know. Braid is not abrasion resistant. No, yeah, I can see where that would tear that up. Let's see. SoCal says my beard went gray, but my hair didn't. See, now you're lucky, SoCal, and dude, you got a full set of hair. I think that's beautiful, wonderful. When I was younger, SoCal, I had hair as long as yours, if not longer, down to my shoulders, and that's just how I was, back in the day. Oh, agree, Drew, agree. But I got to a point where the career that I was in, yeah, it all had to come off. Um, I told my wife though that when I quit doing the fire department and all that, when I finally fully retired, I wanted to grow a beard because I had to be clean shaven for 20 plus years of my life. And I'm like, yeah, I just wasn't a fan of that anymore. And I said, well, I want to grow a beard. Well, my wife doesn't like beards. She don't like mustaches either. But I got away with it for about maybe 8 months. And then she said, okay, enough. I can't handle it no more. You got to take it off. She says, I love you and I love kissing you, but I don't want to kiss that. So I had to respect that. I even tried the goatee. No, not a fan of it. So, but I mean, overall though, excuse me. Yeah. So again, like I said, I've done braid, I've done mono, and I've done floral. Um, I think they all work well. I guess it's just conducive whatever you think works. Now, to me, the green braid, which is the classic, indeed, would probably be good for like even river water. I don't know if the fish can act. See, and that's one thing I've always wondered. Now, maybe you folks can actually, hey, zero. I'm man enough to admit that. I'm a firm believer in this: happy house, happy spouse, or vice versa. Happy wife, happy life. I believe that. I've been married 36 years. I must be doing it right. That's how I look at it. I mean, in all reality, when have to be made, I do share everything with my wife. If it's something that I really strongly do not agree with, I will tell her, no, we're not doing that. But overall, though, I mean, as a marriage, it's a partnership. Oh, hey now. So, Cal, I didn't say that. Hopefully, Miss Okai ain't wearing them. Or hopefully she ain't seeing this, I should say. Jim, I'm so sorry. I just barely caught your message. Bingo, Lee. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Folks, I love what Lee says. We may be older and ache, but we still reel a few fish. Indeed. That's right, Zero. That's right. Jim, I'm sorry. I barely caught your last message, brother. Can you resend it? I'm so sorry. Deborah Potts, how are you? Thanks for joining today. Glad you're here. Geez, that's odd. I didn't know my charger timed to shut off automatically at a certain time. Folks, I'll tell you, I love having these open chats. It gives me a chance to kind of unwind, kind of relax at home, get to spend time with you guys here on YouTube. It's awesome. My Christmas was well. Thank you. How was yours, by the way? Did Santa bring you any new fishing gear? Now, we had a quiet Christmas at home. Got to spend time with the grandkids and family. It was nice. It was nice. I got to tell you, though, man, I was pretty impressed with all the people I was seeing out there fishing on Christmas Day. I really wanted to go, and the wife gave me that look like, don't even ask. It's Christmas Day. I even wanted to go Christmas Eve. She probably would have let me go Christmas Eve if I really wanted to go, but Christmas Day, yeah, that was kind of a no-no. And I respect that. I think Suffolk, I think Suffolk Advanced is one of the best lines you can use. Oh, really? Okay, so my friend Jim says he thinks that the Suffolk Advanced is probably one of the best ones that can be used as far as for fishing line. I was amazed how many city folks were out in the deer woods on Christmas. Were they out there hunting, SoCal? Were they actually out there hunting or just walking through? Oh, your Christmas is quiet, Debbie? Deborah? I'm sorry, do you prefer Deborah or Debbie? I don't want to disrespect you. Hiking and mountain biking. Ah, I got you. That can make it disruptive for hunting. Oh, okay. I appreciate that. Jim says very low memory and half the strength of mono. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that might be a really good one. So, Jim, I'll get with you on that one to see exactly which one that is again. I might give that one a try on the reel. It's not super expensive. I take it, right, Jim? See, that's what I love about communicating. Oh, perfect. Then I'll definitely get with you on that one, Jim, and we can see. I'll get the name from you, and I might end up buying it and trying it out on one of my lines on one of the reels. See how it works out, folks. You know what I love about fishing? I learned so much about things that I did not know, and I'm always eager to try something new to see how exciting it would be to work. And when it works, it's even more exciting. When you actually catch that fish on what you tried for the first time, it's amazing. SoCal says Power Pro Spectra is the only braid I'll use. What does that one retail for a spool, SoCal? About 15 bucks? And how many yards does it give you? Oh, you know what, Deborah? Unfortunately, you may have to go check your settings. If your settings are set to all and you're still not getting them, then it might be something YouTube's doing. You're like the third person that's told me that you're not getting my notifications. Lee says, I love hikers in the woods. They just push the deer to me. Hey, if it's in your benefit, why not, my friend? Oh, Power Pro isn't cheap? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. But hey, if it's a good line, why not? Now, rule of thumb is that I'm hearing, again, it's just certain somebody's interpretation, and it made sense to me. I probably shouldn't believe everything I hear or see, but the rule of thumb is that they actually recommend that we change our lines out once a year due to age. Any yays or nays on that? I mean, out in Arizona, I could probably see it if they're sitting out in the heat for long periods of time. That I could almost probably get away with. But what about these states that are climate are a lot not as harsh as we are here in the summertime? I wonder if that would have any variance on it. Yeah, Debbie. What may be is that I hiked and was a hunter guide. I hiked and was a hunter's guide. Oh, you used to live in northern Arizona? I didn't know that, Debbie. You may have told me that, and I probably forgot. I am so sorry. What part of northern Arizona were you in? I use Suffix 832. It's about $35 for 300 yards. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Solo, have a wonderful evening, my friend. Thanks for joining and stopping by. Appreciate you being here, my friend. We'll hook up on the next slide, buddy. Oh, Sholo. Okay. You're about 4.5 hours from me then. 4.5 hours north of me. Gotcha. There's a YouTube creator that I follow that lives up in Sholo. Jim says 32 braids per inch. Wow. That's quite a bit. Yeah, there's a YouTube content creator that lives up there. Yeah, so Debbie, do me a favor, check your settings and see if you're set to all on the notifications. If you are, then it must be something YouTube's doing because you're like the third person that's told me they're not getting the notifications. Sola says, yes, sir, Tim, and I will leave your playlist playing. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sola. That helps a lot. I appreciate that. $50, 50-pound Power Pro is about $50 for 500 yards spool. Wow, that is expensive. You weren't kidding, SoCal. Holy cow. Whew. That better be some great fishing line for that price. You better be able to bring in Shamu on that one. Whew. Lee says, I use whatever line my daughter gets. She sponsored a couple of line manufacturers. Oh, oh, your daughter is an actual angler? Nice. Hey, if you can get it that way, Lee, that's perfect. Wow, that's awesome. That would be one of my goals one day for this channel, to get sponsored by somebody. That'd be awesome. Of course, I think that would be everybody's goal here on the fishing content channel, right? But boy, it sure would be nice to get sponsored by a tackle shop. You know, interesting thing was, I actually reached out one day to Shakespeare Rod and Reel Company, and kind of explained to them that I was a new channel at that time, growing. And they're probably like, yeah, we don't want to hear about you. My daughter is a fishing guide. Oh, no kiddingly. Awesome. Nice. Now, see, that's the job to have right there. Being a fishing or a hunting guide. That'd be freaking awesome. Ferg, you still on here, buddy, aren't you? Folks, I believe it's Fishing with Ferg. If you haven't checked out his channel, check him out. He's got great content. I believe he is actually a fishing guide also. He does kayak guides. Yeah, so check him out. Gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. I just went scroll again. Hello. uh, Shoot, what were we talking about? I can't remember. Oh yeah, I remember now. So I actually reached out, and they said basically, we'll call us back in about 6 months. So all right, why not? So I'm going to try. I mean, you never know. Small channels, you never know. They might get lucky and get picked up. You never know. It's a great way to endorse their product, especially with just about every pole that I own is a Shakespeare. I think there's only 2 that I own that aren't, but everything else that I own is all Shakespeare rods. Every other one that I own is a Shakespeare rod. So let's see here. SoCal says, I use 30-pound on my bass rods and 50 to 100 pounds on my saltwater rods. Well, yeah, 30 pounds. So no matter what you're catching on your bass rod, you still go automatically 30 pounds on it, SoCal? 50 to 100 I can see on your seawater. Yeah, definitely can see that on your ocean rod, because you'll be catching some big stuff out there, all that tuna and everything. Let's see, Jim, how big are his bass? Hey, Jim, Arizona, hello, SoCal. Jim wants to know how big your bass are to use that kind of poundage on your bass rods. Let's see, Deborah says, I don't live in Arizona anymore, but I know a lot of spots to hunt. Oh, awesome. Awesome. So, Deborah, since you know the area up at that, I got a property in Seligman. Is that a decent place to hunt? Because I've seen a lot of deer out there when I used to go scouting out there. I've seen quite a few bucks out there and a lot of doe during that pre-hunt season. Yep, 30-pound braid, then whatever leader fits the lure. Lee says, it's definitely not easy being a guide, putting customers on fish every time. Oh, I bet it can be difficult and stressful. You know, you really got to know your game. What's the name? I'm not sure I'm not sure I understand what you mean, Deborah. Now I live in a small town um, out in Seligman, Arizona. Oh, okay? So you hunted in Kaibab. Okay, yeah, I know where that's at. That's heading closer towards Williams area, I believe. Not too far from the Grand Canyon. That's about an hour and a half east of me from where my property is. Jim SoCal says, I fish big. I fish big fish. I'm going for the lake record at my home lake, so I tend to throw big baits. Ah, sounds fair enough to me, SoCal. So Jim, he tends to throw big baits because he's trying to go for the lake record. He fishes big. Sounds legit to me, SoCal. Folks, give me a second. I'm going to get something to drink real quick. I'll be right back. Let's see here. I had to cover that microphone up because the last thing you need to hear is me swallowing milk. So Cal says, I'm the guy that you would see throwing a 12-inch swim bait and 10+ inch plastic worms. Hey, so Cal, whatever gets the fish on the hook, buddy. If it works, go with it. Especially if you're trying to break that lake record, for sure. I know I've seen you when you've caught some of them big catfish out to like 20-pound plus. So I know you're catching some big ones out there for sure. Now, when you're catching those catfish, you're using that same line with the 30-pound or yeah, the 30-pound line on there, right? SoCal? So Deborah, back to the question I was asking earlier. It sounds like you're somewhat familiar with the area where my property is. Any good recommendations out in that area out there, or is it strictly out in the other area? Lee says, SoCal, my son does the same thing in our local reservoirs for bass. Says we mostly have smallmouth out here if you catch a 5 or 6 pounder. Yeah, so SoCal, Jim says out here where we are for bass, normally we catch, and he's probably correct on them because I think the biggest one I've caught out here at the river, SoCal, was a 5-pound smallmouth. We normally get like 5 to 6 pounds out here in this area. So So Cal says, yep, all my freshwater rods have 30-pound braid. I do take one big tuna rod for cats and 65-pound braid if I'm targeting cats. Oh, okay, nice. So you have the ability of backing that up then, which is really nice. You know you're going to get something heavy on the hook. You know it's going to take it, not a problem. Well, it's good to know that. Very good. Now, I think some of the biggest fish that I've seen out here, I guarantee they're bigger than what I've caught. You don't know says, can't wait to see you catch some of those big fish. I agree, 100%, man. Whether it's me, SoCal, or somebody's going to be catching some big fish. I know SoCal on his channel has caught some really good sized cats, so that's a definite for sure, for sure. In fact, I think he caught one big cat out here in Lake Havasu. It was a 20+ pounder. I remember that one. I would like to break double digits on my cats and stripers at this point. I've broken double digits on my carp, which has made me pretty happy. But my cats and my stripers are the ones I'm really pushing for them double digits. See, SoCal says, I'll be back to finish bass after deer season. Indeed you will, my good friend. Indeed you will. Hopefully you can land that buck before the end of the month. Lee says, and the lures they toss and cost dollars. Yes. Yes, lures can cost a lot of money for sure. Indeed. SoCal says that was a 20 to 36-pound carp at Havasu on my bass rod. Oh, no kidding? Wow. Let's see here. Debbie says, I helped with a 12A. Oh, okay. So you helped with 12A, 12B area. Okay. I have to check my area, Deborah. I don't know whether my area is either 11 or 18. My biggest lure was 8. Jim says his biggest lures are 8 inches. I want to say Seligman area. I could be wrong. It's either 12 or 18. I could be wrong, but I'll make sure. Debbie, next time you come on, I'll know for sure because I'm going to check it out. But it's right there, not too far from. I literally probably live, if I have to say, maybe 5 miles, 5 to 10 miles just west of the city of Seligman, because I've got property out there that's unincorporated area, and it's great for hunting. I do a lot of bow hunting, and that was one area that when I was out there about a year ago, just kind of puddling around in my off-road vehicle when I saw all those deer moving around. SoCal says the 12-inch swim baits I throw average $30 to $50 each. It hurts to lose one. Well, I can imagine it does, man. I was pretty upset when I lost my $46 one. It's way up north in Kaibab. Oh, okay. So you're way up north. So you're near Deborah. I think you're up near Williams area. Then I take it, right? You don't know. It says $13 for a half a kilogram of squid bait here. What's it cost over there? You know what, Drew? That's a good question. I don't. Gosh, I don't even know if they sell squid out here. I'm sure they do, frozen, but I've never seen it. I may have to check one of my local stores, either Safeway or something like that, to see if they carry it here. Oh, you know who might carry it here? Smart and Final may carry it because I don't have any fish markets that are close to where I'm at. So I don't know. I may have to check though. That's a good question because you know what? Squid would be a great bait. I got to see about getting some. In fact, I talked to somebody on the channel not too long ago that highly recommended that squid would be good. SoCal says it's $27 for a 5-pound box, Drew. Okay, so you actually got it near where you're at, Drew, or SoCal, because you're actually in Southern California area next to the ocean where you can get it. Oh, looks like my wife got home. Awesome. Well, folks, I don't want to cut the live short. I do apologize. The wife did come home and I want to spend some time with her. So, folks, again, I want to say thank you for joining the channel this evening. Always a pleasure having you here. It was great doing this open forum tonight. Folks, again, I could not do this without you guys. I appreciate you joining the channel. I want to say thank you for all the support and dedication that you've given me tonight. Folks, have a wonderful evening wherever you may be. Stay safe. And you know what? As always, talk to you later, Jim. Have a good night, sir. And as always, folks, have a wonderful evening. I'm going to be wrapping it up short tonight. So, again, like I said, the wife just got home. I haven't seen her since this morning. So, folks, take care and be safe out there. And as always, till next time, I'll see you outdoors. Have a wonderful evening.